Welcome to my channel. Do you want to record your music, your band, and show off how amazing you are? Do you want to transcend the limitations of Windows and join the Linux master race? This video will be for you. Now, you might be asking yourself, how good is Linux for audio production? And I mean, there are many categories, many factors, of course, but one thing I can absolutely say is Linux became way better and it's still rapidly improving in all regards. And that's especially important for you if you are really angry at the shitty performance of Windows, the terrible audio drivers, etc. Check out this video and become an instant god among music producers.
Hi you wanna join the Linux user master race? This video might be for you. In this video I will show you the first setups you need to do in order for you to make a proper installation of Linux in regards of optimizations for audio recording. And I'm well aware that many people are rather scared of Linux because, you know, oh my god, terminal, etc. And I mean, it can look overwhelming when you see these tutorials or these meme videos where, you know, someone tries to download a browser, the Firefox browser, and 5,000 terminals commands are opening, and you need to hack into the NSA to access the servers. It's not like that. I must really say that Linux, in terms of usability, is even better than Linux and way easier. For example, you want to download programs, maybe, you know, VLC. I will show you later on in the video how exactly it is done, but the process of installation is way simpler than in Windows. So, you know, terminal command, download it, change one letter, uninstall it. It's really easy. And once you've done it once, you've done it 1,000 times. So don't let yourself get overwhelmed, because if you are getting into this, you will start to feel really comfortable with it. And I mean, there is this ancient war between Windows and Mac users in regards of who is the better tools for audio production, even though I must say that Windows is even recognized as basically functional for music production is beyond me. But now I will introduce Linux to you, because most of you will never have thought that Linux could be a possible alternative to Mac, even on older hardware. Where Windows is stuttering around like crazy, Linux runs perfectly. At first, let's talk about kernels. What are kernels? Basically, you can install in Linux, Arch Linux, alternative kernels. There's the hardened kernel, there's the Zen kernel. You don't have to put them into account when first installing. The primary Linux kernel you will be working with will be the stable kernel. And in the installation folder, as we'll see, we can also install the LTS, the long-term support kernel. What these are is not really all that important for you now. Just what I can tell you is that, for example, the Zen kernel is basically optimizing for performance, for maybe gaming, etc. The real-time kernel, you know, for real-time audio production, etc. But what I also need to say is that on modern day hardware, so if you have a CPU and a GPU that's beyond the Stone Age, then the differences, especially in terms of home production, will not be important to you. The first time you boot EndeavorsOS up, you will be coming into the boot menu. The boot menu, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just click through the steps, you know, start the installer. And then go on through the installation phase. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Now here you will come to the menu with desktop, and here you can choose which kind of desktop do you want to utilize. I have to say it does not really make a huge change. I personally use Plasma KDE. Which desktop version you want to use is completely your choice, and if you have absolutely no experience with Linux and you're pretty unsure, use Plasma KDE so you can have a way easier time following every step I'm making. These are basically just graphical mask on top of the Arch Linux or EndeavorsOS to be more specific. So click Plasma KDE and LTS kernel. I mean, I would recommend to check all marks. I mean, you don't have to, because down there here you can also install different kind of kernels. You don't have to really worry about that, the different kind of kernels, because you can always install them later on. I mean, all of them you can install later on, so it's not a huge drama. So if you're unsure, just click next. At first you will be greeted by the choice which bootloader to choose. You have, now I'm working on I'm working on a virtual machine, so systemd is not available to me in the showcase because I can hardly make a screen recording on a computer which is not properly installed in the first place. But you can have the choice between systemd, grub and no bootloader. No bootloader is the worst choice of them all, because if there's any problems, etc., you can't even boot into the system and there's no way to get back in. So never make this choice. And then you have the choice between grub and systemd. What I can say is that, especially for most of you, there will not be a huge difference, so not a relevant difference to any of you. I mean, both do their own thing, but what I can say is I personally use grub because I'm also working with BTRFS, which I'm going to explain later on. And so you have the steps you need to take. So if you're really unsure which one to choose, use grub. Now the next choice you can make is the choice between BTRFS and ext4. ext4 are like NTFS in Windows, are file storage types. ext4 is older and way more basic, while while BTRFS maybe it has extra functionalities, better performance, smoother performance, data compression, etc. And there's one huge advantage in BTRFS, which I'm also going to show you later on, and that is in regard of timeshift. What is timeshift? Timeshift is a system backup tool, basically. So you make a backup every hour exactly, and then an update comes out, the system breaks, or you have maybe deleted an important folder and the system can't boot up. You can later on go back there and install from the save point you've made earlier back into the system. Timeshift in BTRFS, in Timeshift there is its own functionality for BTRFS, which makes the backups way faster and way smaller. So I would recommend to use BTRFS over ext4. Yeah. Then you come to the welcome page. By the first time booting up, you will be greeted by the welcome screen. The welcome screen, it gives you different opportunities, but the first four, just click on all of them. So, actualize server, make sure all the correct checks are being made, press OK, save, then a password, then a second one. Okay, it's loading. Let's click to the next. And then on the configuration for packages, click on that, OK. The new password again. When first installing, and I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory in all regards, just click for all the steps. Now in the next step, let's talk about the Pacman commands or the yay commands. Whenever you try to install a package, you can either use the Pacman or the yay. I mean, there's not always a choice, because with Pacman, you reach into the official repository, and with the yay command, you reach the official as well as the arch user repository. Whenever you want to do something in Linux and the system gives you a warning, you have no administrative rights, you need to be root in order to do this, or you have not possessed the needed allowance to do this, most likely you forgot to add the sudo command in the front. Sudo is basically saying, I'm doing this as the administrator, as the overlord, basically. So, for example, if you want to install the VLC player, what do you type in? You type in sudo pacman -s. -s stands for install. and then VLC, the package. This also goes for C language, Python, code, Kdenlive, etc. Now, if you want to uninstall something, a package you have installed previously, what you need to do is just replace the big S with a big R. There for remove. And you uninstall it. If you want to find out where this package was installed, use the -ql command to find which directive exactly this package after installed was installed. And another command for you to know is the -u command. For sudo pacman -u, this is when you have a local installation file and you want to execute it via pacman, you use -u. But maybe I will show it in later videos, just that you have heard it at least once. You just go to the console, and now we utilize the pacman command. We press pacman -s. -s is standing there for installing. So I use the package installation manager and then -s for to say I want to download something, and press VLC. And then you have missing root privileges. I mean, it's written in German because I made a few mistakes in the setup, but I don't care. So whenever you try to make an installation, a command, input, etc., and it says you have missing root privileges, there's one thing you need to add beforehand. Press the key up and type in sudo pacman -s VLC. Download it. Maybe put it in correctly. It was already pre-installed. Great. Maybe another one. Code. Yeah, which is, so give it a second. Go to bottom left or press the Windows Home key. Search for code, and there it is. Our installation was made successfully. Now you will see the screen looks really fucked up. Why is that the case? I'm working on a 4K monitor, and this is not, properly adjusted, but do not worry. Bottom left or Windows Home key, System Settings, and then go to your monitor and change from 100% to 150%. Keep the settings, yes. After making the change, you see now the proportions and the DPI-Scaling looks correctly. So this is how you solve that issue. So now we have figured out that we successfully installed packages via the pacman command. So now the next thing is we are going to install Timeshift. Timeshift is a system backup tool, and you just press in sudo pacman -s timeshift. Yes. So now we have successfully installed Timeshift. Timeshift, makes basically save points of your system settings. Maybe, for example, an update came out and it completely broke your some important drivers, for example, or programs aren't loading anymore, and this entire system has been made completely unusable. And so you can use Timeshift to restore an earlier save point, basically, to earlier settings before the update was made, basically. And in addition to that, we are not just going to install Timeshift, but we are also installing timeshift-autosnap. Timeshift-autosnap basically makes an add-on, which extra functionality, which makes backups for you whenever an update has been made. So you do not have to manually always make auto snaps or snaps, basically snapshots, to be more precise. So if you go there, sudo pacman -s timeshift auto snap, and it will say error, a target has not been found. And what are we going to do in this case? Because this program, timeshift-autosnap, is not in the official repository. And how do we solve that? We access the Arch user repository. And in order to do that, you just press in yay -s timeshift-autosnap. Voila. Give it a few seconds. Yes, yes, yes. So now home key, go to timeshift. This is the program we want. Open it, enter your password. So now snapshot type, choose. Here you can choose between rsync and BTRFS. Since earlier, you remember, I've made a choice between Ext4 and BTRFS. BTRFS enables far smaller save points, so it's just superior to Ext4, basically. I mean, the truth is a bit complicated, but for all intents and purposes and for the simplification of this video, you have made the right choice with BTRFS. So just BTRFS, keep it, continue, then wherever on which drive you want to keep it. Then, yeah, here you can make the choice between, you know, weekly, daily, hourly, and then you can choose how many to keep. So do you want to keep, 6 save points, or yeah, that's entirely for you to choose. So basically, you know, if you made the 6th save point, the earliest one will be deleted. So you can just increase it or decrease it however you want. Continue. And then you can the home directive, which is a personal folder, or also when you go there, home, user, which would be that one, but you could, but I do not click it, just continue. Yeah, finish, create. Voila, you made your first save point. And now I will show you something, because what's going to happen if you reinstall this package? We've already installed it previously. Now let's just do this and see what happens. Yes, yes, yes. The console is doing its thing, but now there's a new text here, creating timeshift snapshot before upgrade. This here. So now, after we have installed our timeshift-autosnap the first time, it always makes automatic snapshots for you. So you can go there, timeshift, enter password again, and you can see the first one. You can see the time in which it was made. We have made manually, and then the second one was made automatically for you. So whenever you make a system update, etc., you don't have to manually think about it. As you have seen, I've installed timeshift via sudo pacman -s timeshift. But when I was trying to install the autosnap functionality for timeshift, it did not work. Why? Because the timeshift autosnap function is not in the official repository, but in the Arch user repository. And I've accessed it via yay-s timeshift-autosnap. Now, for example, let's download a program, darktable. Yes. Just let it do its thing. Windows key, darktable. And here you can see, great, I've made installation, etc. Great, great, great. Click it. And maybe, for example, you think, yeah, I don't no longer want to use this program. What am I going to do? Press directive key up, so you don't have to input it permanently again, and then replace S with an R for remove or uninstall. Then, yeah, do you want to delete this package? Yes. And that's it. Now you have deleted the program. So just to show you how to install and how to uninstall packages. Now the next thing we are going to do is install the realtime privilege. Yes. So now we have installed the realtime privileges, which is a tool to make optimization for, better latency. So extra patches to optimize your computer for exactly that purpose. Now what we are going to do is, I will show you. what are we going to do now? We are going to add ourselves to the real-time group. This is a Linux thing, basically. What that means is, in order for some packages to work properly, you need to add yourself to these groups. And you do this via sudo usermod, then add to the group, and then the name of the group and the name of the user, which is that. And after the add, you can see the name of the machine. Successfully added ourselves into that group. Then I have installed realtime privileges. The realtime privileges is, as the name would imply, extra patches and optimizations of your computer for real-time privileges and rights, which is hugely important for audio production. Something that is unique in Linux is the user groups. When, as you've seen, I've used the sudo usermod -ag and then the name of the group. I want to enter and then my name. In every tutorial of a program you need to install, it will be mentioned and shown to you, but this is just for you to enable these functionalities. Then we're going to make some further installations. So, -s audio package. Just press enter to add to everything. Now, what have we just installed? The Pro audio packages are huge collections of VST plugins, audio effects, etc. So this is, for Linux specifically, you can think it as a starter set. And just let it do its thing. And just wait for it to download. So now we've made the installation of the packages. Now we are going to install all the Audiodriver. Just yes, yay. lib32 pipewire. I mean, you don't need to worry. In the description you will see all the downloads, so you can just copy paste them in. And then we are going to install qjackctl. qjackctl is a graphical user interface for Pipewire and an amazing tool, as you will be seeing later on. And just press enter. Yes, yes, yes. I want to download everything. So. Now we have installed the Audiodriver, and as you can see, this is way quicker and way easier than all this, the experience you have collected in Windows. For example, may it be the ASIO driver, may it be some variation of the ASIO driver, may it be the proprietary ASIO drivers for some audio interfaces, for example. And in my case, I really must say I've utilized the general audio ASIO for all driver instead of the proprietary one, because it worked a bit better. But you will be seeing in Linux that the Pipewire driver gives you a better performance, or at least this is my experience. So now what we are going to do, we are going to install all the Wine packages of the Windows VST plugins we are going to install later on. So just press sudo pacman -s installation Wine. You can either install Wine or Wine staging. This is the version. This is basically just Wine with extra patches. Then Wine Gecko. Press enter. Yes. So now let's install some, different VST plugins, some extra, which were not previously included in the huge package. That will be the Decent sampler, which I can highly recommend. So -s, Decent sampler. So now you've installed a package. The thing is, for example, with the Reaper DAW, I'm going to utilize later on, you need to give the instruction to Reaper DAW to search some specific folders for that VST plugin. Now the thing, what if you don't know where exactly this package we've just installed was installed to? I mean, if you go to the folder and then to the root directive, you know, where exactly is it? I mean, I hardly think any one of you would be willing enough to check for all the different directives and see where exactly is it. Then there's an easy command for you to use. Delete the S, Q, L, and it will show you user bin. And if you check here, so let's make it a bit smaller. There you can see the user folder, the bin folder. So you know it was installed here. So now we are going to install Reaper, which is usually essential. So then I've installed, you know, the Reaper, etc. Yeah, sudo pacman -s Reaper. It's really that easy. I mean, you don't have to, you know, go to the browser, type in Reaper, you know, look for all the recommendations, click on the official site, and, you know, download the installer. Now on Reaper on Linux, sudo pacman -s Reaper. You want to uninstall it, -r, as I've mentioned earlier. Way simpler, way simpler. So now we have installed Reaper DAW. Let's open it, and now you can drag and drop. No. Onto the taskbar, and let's open it. So go full screen, and you might see, yeah, the Reaper DAW is installed, but we have the same issue. The DPI-Scaling is fucked up. Why? Because the exact same reason as previously. I'm working on a 4K monitor, and right now it doesn't look right. But what we can do is go to Options and show Reaper Resource Path in Explorer Finder. So, and then close Reaper, and now we are going to install some add-ons. Why am I installing add-ons before I'm solving this issue I've just talked about? I will show you. So, click this away, press to Reaper, yes, accept, so, no, fuck off. So, resources, SVS Reaper extension, and SVS Reaper package manager. So now if you're working on ARM, install one of these. I'm working with a regularly. I'm working on a normal run. So now we can close them. Go to downloads, right click, open a new window. So, and now unfold here. So now we have installed two add-ons. What we're going to do now is go here to user plugins, open it, and drag and drop it here. The same thing, you can see user plugins, go there, drag and drop it into here. So the scripts, drag and drop from scripts folder to scripts folder. And the grooves folder doesn't exist here, so we just put all of them here. So now we have installed some add-ons. I mean, to set them up correctly I will show you later on, but now we are going to solve this 4K monitor issue. Now open console here and press sudo nano reaper.ini password, and yeah, much text, don't let it scare you. The only two lines of interest to you are UI scale and UI scale auto. Now on UI scale, change from 1 to 1.5, and UI scale automatic, change to 0 in order to disable it. And now the most important thing is press Ctrl or Steuerung, whichever language your keyboard is, Ctrl and O. It will ask you to save it, press enter, yes, Ctrl and X to leave it. And now, if you have made everything correctly, you open Reaper, and the scaling will be right. One thing I want you to know, whenever you see a scaling problem, when you open a program, but the text is too small, or the files, the graphical user size is not really correctly scaled, then the term you are looking for is DPI scaling. And I've also shown how do you solve the DPI issue in Reaper, etc. But I just wanted to know it is DPI, the name of this terminology here. Then I've installed Wine. Wine, you have the choice between Wine staging and Wine. Wine is the basic Wine, and Wine staging is Wine plus extra patches, extra functionality. Then Wine Gecko, Wine Mono are some extra functionalities. They like the Internet Explorer alternative and .NET alternative because some plugins, audio plugins need online registration. Those packages are needed. And then there's Wine 9 for direct 3D processing and smoother performance. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it was kind of helpful and interesting, and bye till my next video.